Yes.
Gonna get here early and stay a good chair out. We're learning these things.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Oh, I could. Hey, Jeremy.
You need a pen? You bet.
He lost yours.
Oh, I've never used blue. I'm always.
Hi, Jeremy.
Hello.
He's done.
Just see. You right at 6 o'clock, Wanda, you good?
You got your.
Yeah, I do. So I had to run home here. Becky telling me. All good.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
So I'm guessing.
All right. Well, no,
No, it wasn't here. Good. We'll call the meeting to order. Notice is posted in accordance with Wisconsin statute 19.84 open meeting law. At this time, we'll ask the secretary to please read the notice of public hearing.
Notice of public hearing, State of Wisconsin, County of Burnett, Monday, December 1st, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Burnett County Government Center in room 165, Town of Meeting, Siren, Wisconsin, regarding the following. Variance 2523, Coley. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Jackson, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Richard Cody has made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To expand the footprint of a structure which is less than 35 feet from the ordinary high water mark of North Sand Lake at 3722 South Peninsula Road in the RR1 zoning district, Lot 1, CSM, Volume 15, page 93, in Government Lot 3, Section 354015. Variance 2524, Partners of the Last Resort. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Siren, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Joe Starkey, on behalf of Partners of the Last Resort, has made an application relative to the proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use, Floods, and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To expand a dwelling more than 25% on a parcel that is non-conforming for dwelling density, and to do this project without meeting all the floodplain requirements on Clam Lake at 24768 Sunfish Bay Road in the RR1 zoning district, lots 7, 8, and 9, block 1, plat of Mound Beach, 2nd edition, section 3, 3815. Variance 2525. Lesson. Okay, close. The public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Sand Lake, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Jeff Howe, on behalf of Peter and Michelle Leschison, has made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To replace more than 50% of the structural components on a dwelling that is on a parcel that is non-conforming for dwelling density at 5263 State Road 70 in the RR1 zoning district, parcel and government lot 5, section 323915. Variance 2526 Stein. Public notice is hereby given to all persons in the town of Meehan, Burnett County, Wisconsin, that Joseph Stein has made an application relative to a proposal to vary the terms of the Burnett County Land Use and Shoreland Protection Code of Ordinances as follows. To rebuild a dwelling cabin on a parcel that is non-conforming for dwelling density on Clam Lake at 25162 Lakeview Road in the RR1 zoning district, unit 3 of Last Resort condominium in section 343960.
Thank you. This time we can entertain a motion to approve the agenda order. Do I have a motion to approve as written?
I would make a motion.
Motion by Peterson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Campion. Any other discussion on the agenda order? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries to approve the agenda order. This time we'll need the meeting procedures. This hearing is being recorded so that we ask that only one person speak at a time. When your variance appeal request is announced, we will ask that whoever is presenting the case, that you come up to the table and sit in the chair. You will then present your case to us. The board may ask additional questions during this process. Once you are done presenting your case, the board has no additional questions. You will return to your seat. The board will then open the public hearing. Those speaking during the public hearing will have a 3-minute time limit. When you are called upon for public comment, please start by stating your name for the record. Make comments to the Board of Adjustment members only. No questioning or arguments between individuals in the audience. Any written correspondence received will be mentioned at this time as well. Once all the public speaking is concluded, the board will close the public hearing, and the board that may then follow up with additional questions for the applicant. The board will then deliberate the case amongst themselves, and you will likely have a verbal decision tonight. The board may table or defer action whenever it concludes that additional evidence is needed or further study is required. If a decision is made tonight, then at the next Board of Adjustment meeting, the board members will sign the decision document. Once that document is filed in the office of the Board of Adjustment, usually within a few days of the board's signature, the 30-day appeal limit will start. Any person aggrieved by this decision or any applicant, officer, department, board, or bureau of the county or town may, within 30 days after the filing of the decision in the office of the Board of Adjustment, commence an action in circuit court seeking a remedy available by certiorari. Any general public comments at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on to public hearing, variance 2523 Cody to expand the footprint of a structure which is less than 35 feet from the ordinary high water mark.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thanks for your time this evening. I know it's all within your duties, but we appreciate just the same and listen to my application for a variance. I know you have all the information that I have in front of you here. What I'm overall trying to achieve is to enclose an existing deck into a 3-seasons room. In addition to that, looking at replacing the stairways that we need from that current deck down towards the lake. There's a platform and an unfed step down through the lake as well. And then under there's a 4-foot current decking walkway, I guess you would call them, that runs the length of the that's 4 feet wide. That's what we replace the gravel into the cement. As far as any other specific information, I'm open to any questions. I don't know what else I can offer at this point. Hopefully, enough of the overview is what I'm trying to accomplish.
Any general questions, guys? Ed?
Why do you?
I'm sorry, Brad.
I know I'm getting old. Why are you want to put concrete underneath the 4-foot walkway?
Generally, from a maintenance standpoint, and I was looking to do concrete on this, that area, as well as much of the pathway and stairways that lead down to the lake as well, but I'm open to options accordingly. That was the main reason. Just from a maintenance standpoint, I get weeds and all that stuff. It's nothing. I don't think there's any major drainage issues there so far.
Okay. And so that you're talking though, the steps that are going to the lake that is shown on the Wagner surveying, that you want to turn into concrete?
Well, so there's 2 sections of steps. I guess the walkway is more of a planking right now, a pallet that's ground level.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that the one you're referencing running parallel to the lake in a sense?
No,
Walkway?
I know it's hard to get on your map here, but it goes from kind of thing from the 30. If you look at the 35 OHWM line, you go straight across to see the first striping. And that's the pallets. So that's the stairway. There's a little bit of a pallet. Well, a pallet. I'm gonna show you best if you don't mind, if I can.
Yep, no, it's,
If I approach you.
these are small maps
I got
and
a small
sometimes.
one as well. So if I look at it this way, this is the pallet right here. Okay, that's at ground level. These are wooden steps.
Okay.
Right now with a wooden rail. And I was looking to replace all of that
With concrete.
with concrete as well. I mean, if I can, and then underneath it with concrete as well. I can try to make it more uniform. These are the steps that are current and they'd be in the same position with the new structure as well.
And they'd be wood?
I was looking at Trex or something along those
Yeah,
lines.
yeah, yeah.
Trex.
Composite.
Composites.
Yeah,
Thank you. I couldn't think of-
Let me jump in here.
Go ahead.
That's not part of the variance, though.
We don't care
That
about
can
that.
be permitted without the variance.
Okay.
Did you guys?
Then we don't need-
Anything out to you?
It's the closing of the deck and all that stuff.
Thank you.
Yes.
The proposed porch, the 17
Yes.
by 16.
And we got nothing to do with the poured concrete underneath the.
Concrete underneath the deck, we can permit that as well, cause you can stack patios and decks as long as they're in the same footprint. So, yep, we don't have to worry about the concrete underneath the deck.
Okay.
Or the stairs, as long as they're going in the same footprint of where they're at. So it's really just the enclosed porch.
Okay. And the porch will be one level? How high will the sidewalls be? How low will the height on the sidewalls be?
You know, that's a great question. I haven't got all the specs back. The deck currently is, I'm just trying to think.
I mean, we're not gonna be 2 stories.
Okay, no, it's just one story. It's all, actually, it's not gonna be higher than the existing, it's gonna match with the existing roof line. It's not going 2 stories. It's
Okay.
it's one story, sorry. Foot wise, I'm guessing 8, 10, 9 feet, 10 feet, I'm guessing.
We're just gonna infill that and continue the roof across.
That's correct. That's all, excuse me, that's all.
Yeah, so the reason we're here for a variance is because when you're within when any portion of the building is within 35 feet of the ordinary high water mark, you cannot expand the footprint at all. So you have a deck, you can have a deck there, but you can't enclose it to be living space. So that's what the variance is for.
Thanks, Jason.
Yep.
I
So
don't
does that
have any
require-
further questions.
A foundation for that, or that'll just gonna be on posts?
That post, it's just gonna be a post, there's no foundation plan.
The expansion will be just. Probably is it to the south?
Maybe a lateral more south, a little bit south, it'll be south, yes. Yeah.
Away from the water kind of.
That, actually, kind of further from the water. Correct. Yes.
Any other thing you wanna present at this time? If not, you could.
No, I will say this though, it's the first time I've been through this process, the learning process for me, and I gotta tell you. Your staff and everybody's been great about getting me the information. I certainly appreciate that, because. You know, I've never been through it, kind of guided me through what you needed. And I needed experience, so I certainly appreciate that. Good that with the staff. Great.
All right.
Thank you.
Mark, sitting on that, we did have a copy of the, it wasn't part of that, was the, copy of the 77 application. It can kind of shows you where the high water mark was compared to 42 feet, where it's below about 30 right now. They lost a lot of water underneath there, I'm guessing, and you can tell with the riprap and stuff there now that's from, Ed Flanagan's stuff from 77, I'm guessing, so.
That's pretty Flanagan, man.
Is it pretty Flanagan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 77, I was still teaching too, huh?
Originally.
Yeah.
Do we know what the setback rules were in 77?
Same thing.
Was it 30? It was, Mark.
I'm assuming, I mean, yeah,
75.
75 was
I can leave that up here.
Well, I was talking of 35. Was that actually implemented then by chance?
35 back then. I don't think there was any. The statutes were not like they're worded today. Back
Correct,
then it was just 75, I
Yep.
think.
I think this was built in 70. Okay, original. So prior to. Okay, so that's.
Yeah, shoreline zoning got adopted in 71, so it would have been right before. Yep, zoning rules would have kicked in.
No other stuff from the case then?
Wasn't even a thought.
At this time, we can open up a public hearing for variance 2523 Cody. Any questions from any members of the people present? Bueller? There. It was Thanksgiving time.
That's right, accurate.
Throw that out there.
I'll be good.
Hearing none, we'll read any letters. The DNR's got a letter in here. I think it was shoveled in there somewhere.
Yeah, so you got you got comments from conservation staff in your packet,
Just have one.
yeah, I think extras of Emily's comments.
Sharon, I shared.
Yeah, she talked about it. So that's been up the entire time during labor.
Yeah, which would be standard anyway.
Yeah.
You have to pull a permit to do that, so that would be automatic.
Then you got a letter from the DNR.
November 24th, yep.
Yep. There as well.
No neighbor comments that were sent in of relevance.
Yeah, that was, yeah, no comments from any neighbors, township or anything.
Okay. At this time, I'll close the public hearing and the committee will deliberate amongst themselves. Any other questions or concerns from the committee, ideas, thoughts?
I know that Emily was concerned about the concrete under the deck. But that's not, we're not worried about that here.
That's not part of the variance item, correct?
Okay. So we're just worried about,
You're worried about the porch and I guess I should have said the deck expansion too, because he's wanting to enclose or make the existing deck porch and then make the deck bigger. Yep. So that's what you see on your plan there.
So really, it's just the
16 by 17 is the proposed side, what's the existing? If I'm reading the map, the plan right. Yeah, always hard to tell which was there.
Yeah, so pretty much there's a dash line that kind of shows the deck being that, what is that, kind of a pentagon-ish, multiple sided kind of structure there.
No, the deck is 10 feet from
10 by 17,
right
right?
by 17 and the porch is 16 by 16.
Just lines here.
So you don't-
but it actually getting smaller.
Nope.
It's going 4 feet beyond where the original fit through the deck is out there right now.
Oh, okay, so, okay, so it's gonna be a proposed porch and then a deck also.
Yes,
Yeah.
proposed deck
It'll be
expansion.
squared up even
Yep.
with same dimensions as the porch, just 10 feet out. So from where the existing deck is there, it's basically 4 feet wider to the southeast.
So the existing deck is this line. Right here.
Yeah, that,
God.
So
again,
this is enclosing that portion of the deck, is the proposed deck, is that's.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you guys got it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, yep.
oh,
Yeah, the
Maybe
existing
5
deck
feet,
is right here.
Yeah.
So they're enclosing this portion.
yeah, this is this line to that line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably if this is 10, it's not even 5. This is 10 total out here to there.
Yep,
It's probably
because
about-
it's a deck right
Yeah,
now,
on the
and just stay at that, you can't enclose it.
Okay.
Yep,
That's my question.
yep.
And it's a sideway. It's outside the 30.
We have talked about the cement under the deck. We wanted where the house and the stairs were for sure coming out of the house. But on the left side towards the 35-foot setback that goes up the hill a little bit would not be necessary unless, that could be something that could be part of the mitigation or the work with them if needed. Looked at that option either.
I heard him say that would be kind of removed.
Yeah. On that side.
Stair, that gives access from the entrance, go down the stairs.
Yeah. So that was that.
Okay. Does everyone understand the schematics of it? This one's tough. The map wasn't quite hard to.
Lot of lines on there, yeah.
No, that's fine.
Maybe even blow it up bigger.
Our impervious surface really is not changing.
Well, we're at
Maybe
2%.
maybe 3 feet on that deck.
Yeah,
We're going and we've allowed the side expansion many times.
Outside the 35.
And we're outside of the 35. So the impervious is, not really an issue. And we don't worry about the steps or really that concrete at this point. We're worrying about the new deck and the porch expansion. We seem like we grant these quite often. I don't see any problem with it.
One thing that Emily pointed, or near the staff, was about the 30-foot viewing corridor.
Yeah, I mean, there is some restrictions that are gonna be put on that, of course, because anything that we grant variances, most of the time we make the shoreline restoration part of it.
That and the
But the problem is that it,
mitigation of rainwater.
Well, it's gonna be tough because the house is within part of the depth, so but that was similar to what happened on the Yellow Lake condo one. We had, so staff, Emily and I kind of discussed reducing that depth a little bit to make it work, cause obviously we don't wanna say plant a tree 1 foot from your house, cause that's stupid, so we usually work on.
Yeah, cause
Kinda
what's
getting
the
that stuff.
measurement? You guys go for 45.
It's supposed to be 37.5.
37.5. Of mitigation stuff, when we
Yeah.
go back and replant, yeah.
Yeah.
that's it. Those are details you guys will work out.
If you made that a condition, we would, yep. Work with that, to figure that out or make some adjustments to it.
I don't see. Nothing really sticks out to me. This staff comments.
House,
Yeah. Just use these conditions, downspouts and gutters and erosion control.
So anything this is proposed, is that's Jason, is the proposed concrete under the deck that runs along the house that is in the current map in the 35-foot? That's a separate issue, you're saying?
Yes. That's not part of the variance.
Correct, I'm just saying, like, on the plan, on approval, it's like, when it goes, I just wanna be clear that that's not approved here.
Yeah, but he, all he has to do is pull a permit for it.
Well, that
Yeah.
runs, but it's not our hearing, so I'm just, like I said, cause that portion is actually in the 35 feet is what I'm saying, and it's like, I don't wanna confuse the two. We're talking solely about what is on the agenda item, which is, as long as you take care of that later, then yeah. Not our concern now, but I just wanted to clarify, so.
I'll make a motion to approve 25-23 Cody.
I have a motion by Campion, do you wanna address in your motions?
Stipulations, number one, shoreline restoration should be made part of the approval. Since the proposed expansion is within the lake setback, the current standard for items under 59.6921V provisions allows a viewing access corridor of 30 feet per 100 feet of shoreline, up to a maximum of 200 feet of viewing access. This property has approximately 100 feet of shoreline, so they would be allowed 30 feet of viewing access corridor. The buffer depth shall be at least 37.5 feet from the ordinary high water mark. Number two, gutters and downspouts added to the cabin with the water directed to a green garden. And this is additional mitigation for exceeding the 200 square foot within the 75-foot setback. Number three, land use permit to be obtained prior to construction. Number four, proper erosion control and stormwater runoff controls such as silt fence to be in place until vegetation is established. And finally, number five, following all local, county, state, and federal requirements for this activity.
Yeah, can we focus on the first one you mentioned, was the 32? I'd like to have you add the staff, Jason and the staff to deal with the 37.5 foot. And them come up with a acceptable, look at it written at 37 feet, and again, that portion of the house is in there, so as long as they sign off, make that contingent, perfect. I have a motion
I'll second it.
seconded by Schmidt. Any other discussion on variance 2523 Cody with the said 5 conditions as talked about? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve variance 2523 Cody. Thank you.
Thank you.
I need to work with Jason in his office to get the details on the restoration and other things that are there. So thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Variance 2524. Partners of the last resort to expand a dwelling cabin more than 25% on a parcel that is non-conforming for dwelling density and to do this project without meeting the floodplain requirements. Well,
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Joe Starkey. I'm here on behalf of Carlson, who is home cabin for, part of the Partners of Last Resort. The project entails, essentially a remodel bathroom and add on. In addition, from 8 by 24 feet, the bathroom will not fit away, the bathroom being 3 by 2 feet. And then the rest of the addition would be another 16 feet by 8. So it squares up to the total cabin is 24. As part of this, we would remove the existing roof trusses and put a new trusses on that expanded the entire distance. And we're asking to raise the cabin up onto posts. As the county will allow in ordinance 22-170-8, if it was to be destroyed by non-conforming by a non-flood issue. That part of the ordinance allows for the county allows for closure piers to be used versus fill. So what we're asking is, we're willing to raise up the entire structure to remodel the bathroom to make it accessible, add the addition for the added space. But obviously we can't make the dwelling conforming based on the number of dwelling units there. So we're basically saying we can lift everything up. We're gonna put a new roof system over the whole thing, do the best we can with making as conforming as possible. There's just no room to put fill, to build the cabin up on fill around the structures. The garage is too close on one side, cabin number 5 is too close on the other side, lodge is too close in the front. And I believe the elevation of 958 is the top septic, so we know that the first floor has to be that high. So I think that covers what we're looking to do. Otherwise, I'll be restating everything, putting applications. You read it, so.
You're not gonna go 2 stories, or are you gonna go
Not 2 stories, then
just a 1 story,
it's the 1 story.
but just new roof?
New roof, highest, the peak will be 23 feet or less.
Just gets kind of tight to the shed there.
It is, it's not much we can do.
Do some firewall stuff,
Yep.
one or the other.
The plan would be to put at least an hour fire rating wall on it, so. And to insulate that side with that firewall rating. The sheetrock.
No, anything else you want to present afterwards?
I have a question for Jason, actually. 'Cause I received this letter, I just, in the letter, the county was asking that a certified Wisconsin engineer be hired, to enforce NR 116 and chapter 22. It covers both ordinances. I was just curious if there's a specific section that engineer would have to look at.
They have to certify that it's not gonna float away and withstand forces, lateral forces from flooding.
That's
Things like that, yeah.
That was my question.
Yep, stuff that's even above my pay grade.
Yep.
So,
No, I
Yep.
have no objection to it.
Yep.
I just wanted a clarifying answer, so.
yep.
That's a high pay grade.
Everybody wants my job.
Negative goes.
Long as I'm here.
If not, you can take off and we'll open the public hearing. Thanks. At this time, we'll open public hearing variance 2524, Partners of the Last Resort. Any comments from the public?
Mark, from Smith. I think what Joe mentioned what the elevations are, if you can understand the floodplain stuff reasonably, because you'd have to basically go up 3.5 feet from where they're at, and at 15 out slope going out, you need all 15 feet to get that, and that's for the top. And so this is the only practical way to do it is go straight up. And we've done 2 or 3 of them on other condos and stuff on there, and they have the retaining walls up, and they're sitting on almost like a moat out there. And so it's a real tough way to do. I mean, how do you do it? There really isn't a good question. But you can see the first floor elevation is the same as the septic lid is. Well, if you're out there and saw that, that's what the finished floor has to be at.
958.1.
Yeah.
What you're feeling.
And the ground would have to be 1 foot below that to be legal built when it's completed. So
Have a few more steps to get up there.
this is how they solve it on the Gulf Coast and stuff. They go up on with some fillers. And stuff. The ones that have been done on Clam Lake, they've had some pre-stressed concrete girders for basements on a few that used to be American Homes had an in-house guy that did that for them or verified it. That's the ones we've had done before like that for engineered, basements or whatever that passed. That was done for years. Stuff that I know it's been done in the past. That was even for crawl spaces or basements. This, of course, crawl space isn't going to be there because it's made so the water can flow through, so it won't cave your building in.
Well, none of those were done on post, yeah.
No, they were on crawl
Base,
space.
yeah. This is the first one on post that I'm aware of in Burnett County.
Interesting.
Any other public comments? Any letters or information that you want to touch on, Jason?
There was no comments, no conservation staff, nothing from the DNR. So no comments.
No neighbors or anything that last minute? Okay. At this time, then we'll close the public hearing, 2524 Partners Last Resort. Meeting will deliberate amongst themselves.
They're way back.
Yeah.
What's the percentage? They're asking for what?
25 is
The rule,
the rule.
what's the percentage of the 8 by 24, 200 square feet to, I guess, 16 by 24? Mark, do you know that by chance?
No, I haven't got the numbers.
I shut my phone off, so it didn't ring.
128 square feet, he says.
I'm showing, is it
I mean, it's not much.
8 by 24, and that's including those, not including the jogs, stick outs, the bump outs, right? Because they're already there, so, oh yeah.
He mentioned it was gonna be what, 20, no more than 23 feet tall. What is the current building? Can't be more than,
I was gonna say, I think it wasn't much more than 25%. I was like, if it was a total 30% expansion, because it's greater than the 25%, that's why we're here, right?
it's greater than 25%.
Yeah, I was just curious if it was 28, just like we do on the water, kind of the pervious, it's like, well, how much?
This is a little bit tricky though, because this is the building envelope, so it's volume.
Oh,
So it's current volume versus.
yeah, you were talking about that, yeah.
Yep.
Looking at those two knockouts, it's, say 6 times 20, 128 might be right. That seems a little low, but that could be. Because 8 by 24 is what, 196? Total square feet, if it was just a rectangle?
But it's a lot.
Correct. Actually, yeah, that whole end, so, yeah, I bet 128, I
Yeah.
would take your word for it,
I
that
think
makes
so.
sense.
I agree too.
So 16 times
This has
24.
got 2 parts. One is to allow more than 25% expansion and also is to not do the engineering.
No,
Well, to not do the fill,
not do the fill.
to put it on posts. So right now, there is no exception. You have to do it on fill.
Okay,
So he's asking for a variance to not do the fill, to do it on.
but still do the engineering.
Yeah, you'd have to do the engineer would have to sign off that the posts.
It'd be code compliant on posts,
Yeah.
but then it saves the, what runs into the problem because of the geography, the unique characteristics
Yeah, you
is
can't-
to add that much fill and have a proper slope, you're
No.
running into every.
You know, be filling half of your neighbor's cabin in. I mean, it's- Yeah,
Or you have to raise all of them at the same time.
yeah, or you raise them all, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer.
I'm sorry, that was good math.
I would make a motion to approve the variance, with, 4 conditions. Wisconsin licensed engineer to certify the foundation post design, which will meet the requirements of the Wisconsin Administration Code NR 116 and Burnett County Ordinance, Chapter 22, prior to a land use permit being issued. Land use permit to be obtained prior to construction, a Wisconsin licensed engineer to submit the report after construction of the foundation posts were constructed properly and met NR 116 and Chapter 22, and then follow all local, county, state, and federal requirements for this activity.
Do you want to do one other about the height? You did mention that it wasn't. gonna be
20,
more than-
not-
Yeah, and not to exceed 25 feet is what you said it would be? 23 feet. Yeah, we'll go 25. Just in case
Not 25,
we got a couple feet.
25 from grade or 25 from the floor?
Well, it would be from the floor, right? Wouldn't it?
That would make sense because we can't account for the posts.
Yeah.
From grade? Okay, from grade, 25 feet from grade, from the existing grade.
Yeah, but 4 conditions plus that one, number 5, yep.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Peterson and seconded by Daniels. Any other discussion on 25-24 partners in last resort with the 5 conditions stated? If not, all.
Sorry.
No, that's 6, I'm like, I have 5.
That's not the clock.
Sorry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve variance 25-24 partners of the last resort. Thank you.
Use myself from.
What you suggest?
Thanks.
But it doesn't do
Yeah, I don't know. Geez, you got my
it.
text? Okay, yeah, I knew I was close, but like, well, the wife's yelling at me like, don't you have a meeting? Don't you have a meeting? We've been plowing snow for days, shovel.
Oh, yeah.
At this time, we'll have hearing 25-25, Leschison.
Yep.
We're gonna go with that?
Yeah, that's kind of good.
Alrighty, I apologize.
In case anybody didn't hear, Dan Campion recused himself, so.
To replace more than 50% of the structure components on a dwelling that is on a parcel that is non-conforming for dwelling density.
My name is Kevin Clark. I'm here representing. And so what we have a land use permit, to work on the guest cabin, with a new lift system, new screen porch. And, we took down more than what was allowed. We did not realize at the time that it was a non-conforming building because it did have its own separate well, it's gas, it's septic, electric. So we are looking to rebuild the walls, the roof on the same footprint. With leaving the foundation, most of the floor system, so we're not. The square footage is mostly all the same, except for, we also got approved for the screen porch off at the back.
So that's approved already.
Yes. Yep. So we're just, yeah, like I said, we took down more than what I guess was allowed because not realizing that it was a non-conforming. Like I said, there was already another structure on there, and this one had its own, well, gas, septic, electric to it.
And it'll stay that way?
Some of it will. So some of it, we will be changing the gas and electric over to basically one, so then there's not 2 meters.
So you subfeed from the,
Correct, yep, right off the road. So trying to combine, condense, make it easier that way for homeowners. So that's what we're looking for is the variance to basically the such that is there.
I don't have any questions.
Anything else you wanna add? If not, we can.
Yeah, no, nothing, else. I mean,
And Mark down here, Mark, you wanna pipe up now while we're in it?
He didn't do it.
Oh, I thought I see that.
Yeah, he did the initial survey. Yep, we did the initial.
Oh, okay, sorry. My bad. I
There's
just.
no mod.
so many comments.
He usually does, that's good.
Yeah, so no other vegetation, anything is going to be disturbed, we're not taking out any extra.
And it's,
Anything on the shoreline, anything like that, it's basically cleared on rebuild.
yep, it's all grown in really well.
That's fine, if you wanna take that back.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll open the public hearing for variance 2525 Leschison. Any comments from the public? Any correspondence that needs to be?
Just comments from county conservation, about going over 15%.
Of surface area on the lot, that's what we're talking.
They have a pretty natural shoreline, so their shoreline will probably cover
Point to
the
point.
mitigations that the points that they would need to do. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so this one here, so what you're allowed to do is you're allowed to replace up to 50% of the structural components on a non-conforming dwelling. Essentially, so we look at 4 parts of the building, foundation, floor system, wall system, roof systems. The permit was pulled to replace the roof and then do some windows and siding, I think is what it said. And then basically now the, walls are taken down too, and they're gonna do, part of the floor system will be new. Cause when I talked to the owner, he isn't gonna have this, cause right now there's a step, cause it used to be a cabin with an attached garage. So it's not gonna have the step in it, so they're gonna have to rebuild part of the floor system, so that puts them over the 50% structural components. So,
Can I make a comment still yet or no?
Sure.
Wait, so with the impervious, so, with the guest house, with the screen porch that we're trying to do, the garage, the driveway, the existing house that's there, we figured that it's roughly about 10,200 square feet in total. And being that, off the staff report here, it's a 1.8 acre lot. So we are, I believe, within range of the 15% is 11,826. So I believe that we're still under.
okay, yeah, and if so, yeah, we'll check that math again, so if you're under, you won't have to do anything, so.
Just with what.
Yep. Yep.
So.
Cool. Hearing no other public comments, we can close the public hearing and deliberate amongst ourselves.
Permits were pulled. I mean, permits were pulled for the roof, the windows, the siding. And it's just over 50%. The structure was there. It's not, they're not making it any bigger.
Nothing's disturbed on the land.
Pardon me, Kathy?
It's not,
Nothing was.
nothing was disturbed on the lot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see any problem with this at all myself. Ready for more.
If everyone's content or any further questions, yeah.
I would make a motion to approve this variance with 4 conditions put on it. A lock and change will be installed on the septic tank by 6/1/26. The sanitary system evaluation to be completed by a Wisconsin licensed plumber for the septic for the westerly cabin and submitted to the county by 6/1/26. Impervious area to be calculated by a Wisconsin licensed surveyor and submitted to the county by 6/1/26. And if the parcel is over 15%, then mitigation will be required and to be completed by 12/1/26. Both the septic system be serviced and reported to the county by 6/1/26.
I have a motion and for contingencies. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Seconded by Schmidt. Any other discussion on variance 2525 with the four stated restrictions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries to approve variance 2525. Thank you. Thank you very much. At this time, we will hear variance 2526 Steen to rebuild a dwelling cabin on a parcel that is non-conforming for dwelling density.
Thank you for your time. The family bought that resort from Bill Chakowski back in '85. And my wife has always called it her happy place. The cabins they're quite old
Are
actually.
you Joseph? Just your name?
Joseph.
Okay, I don't want to make sure. I thought so. but-
Okay.
Yeah.
The cabins are 5 foot up in the 20s and 30s. Judged by the electrical wiring that was in there is typical of what electricity first came to the area. The stamped metal ceilings, like the 1910s or 20s, what it is the cabin's full of mold. And my wife is in the later stages of COPD, and she has not been able to set foot in the cabin in 5 years. And she'd like me to fix it up for her. But I think technically what I'm asking for is a remodel, not a rebuild, because I'd like to keep the same foundation that it's on now. Just go 8 feet farther back. And then I guess
We're gonna add 8 feet on the back, not.
on the back, not the front.
Not move it 8 feet, just add 8 feet.
Add feet eight on the back, which should put me right at that 25%. Yeah. I do have a comment about the environmental committee here. We actually have already been subjected to this and they've already signed off on it. And I brought some pictures. I just took these Saturday. We just took them Saturday. We put 3 docks in. There's 44 feet, including the 2 docks. They're 4 feet each. So we actually mow 38 feet of grass to the lake for little kids to be able to play in the water. That's less than the 30%. I mean, that's way less than what we could be mowing, according to that. And also you can see that
So yeah, 269 is the lot width in front, so at 30 foot for 30 feet per 100, you're at what?
No, I
74?
think we have, 290.
290.
Okay, even out farther, that's just the, yeah,
87 feet is what they could have
Good, yeah.
reviewing.
per the math, okay. And you're saying you have about 38 is what you,
Between the docks, 44 including the dock is what we mow. We let all the rest of it grow up as wild as what we possibly can do. The one thing I want to say that there was one gal on that committee last time. I'm not sure she was going to be happy no matter what. And we planted the shrubs that we planted all died. And so we replanted, they all died. The soil's not the best condition there. But here's another thing too, that there's seven pine trees that cover right across the front there. They're 70 feet tall. And most of them have a circumference over 8 feet. And they drop a lot of pine needles that they butt up to each other. There's a lot of sand a lot of shade. And, what I'm afraid is about to go, we already did this environmental committee, they already signed off on it, nothing has changed since. And I'm afraid if that gal's moved up in the ranks, that she might expect something that the land just isn't gonna produce.
The person who did that last time is not here, so
She's not in the system.
she's not working here anymore. You would have dealt with before, so.
Okay, well, nevertheless, these are the identical restrictions that we already had placed on, and they already signed off. So I was hoping that we wouldn't have to do that.
Anything further you want to add at this time?
Why I can't. Sure appreciate a yes vote.
You got all those questions.
Do you own all of the units?
No, I don't, no, it's condominium association,
Okay. So you just
Unit
own
three.
unit 3?
my unit 3.
Okay.
Correct.
I don't have any.
Little red cabin.
Yeah,
And our, well, I guess we'll wait through that. That's fine. If you're done, you can
oh,
head
okay.
back and then we'll open the public hearing.
Not much
Thank
public
you.
left.
Yeah. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing for 2526 Stein to rebuild dwelling cabin on a parcel that's non-conforming for dwelling density. Any comments from the public at present? Any written correspondence that we need to talk about?
Oh, what does we have? Comments from conservation? Yeah. I think that was it, right? Yep, that was it.
No further information. We'll close the public hearing and deliberate amongst ourselves. 2526, if I'm not mistaken.
So they've been signed off on shoreline restoration.
I believe what he's mentioned is that he was asked to meet the requirements years ago. They did that, signed off on it. So I think we just look at, as part of the consent, it's part of the process. So it's like, looking at the pictures, it looks like it's actually pretty native and whatever. I don't know if Emily or whoever would have much to change on it.
So we still need to keep the staff comment and pursue the
Yeah.
sanitary
And that
system.
would be up to Emily and Jason to
Yep. And then,
filter out.
No, the variance, Jason, is for dwelling density, and because these condos associations, you're just saying that we've got basically, 7 units on that?
Yep, the condo is just a form of ownership. It's all technically one parcel.
Correct.
And
And
they'll have 8 cabins or whatever on
is there
one
8?
parcel. 1, 2, 3, 4, well, units, I guess.
Yep,
'cause it-
and
one
the
is-
garage.
There's some that aren't shown on the map.
Oh,
Yeah, the map doesn't, we didn't make them survey the whole condo.
gotcha. Yeah, there's
Just the units next to them, so
But
there's.
because it's a condo association, when you're
Yep.
expanding one, that's
Yep. So it's treated all as one parcel. Yep, so it's non-conforming for dwelling density.
yeah, and one of the, when you look at the map, it's like. Looking at, what is that, the 75-foot line that runs through all 4 of those units that are in the map that's presented. If the addition's done, I don't think you know whether or not it blends in, fits the character of the other 3 or 4 cabins still. It's not a unicorn in the area that you're like, oh, you're approving this and the rest of them are all gonna ask to approve a huge.
It's going back, which is.
Correct, it's in the right direction, and most of it is actually behind pretty close to being behind the
Are
75.
we thinking that we keep the shoreline restoration stuff in there? And then they just have to figure out how much of it has to be done or if anything?
Well, we just don't,
I don't think you can take it out.
we just don't take it out. I
Okay.
mean, that's part of our, kind of one of the feet we stand on.
I get the feeling everybody's okay with this. The other big thing is the other staff report issues about floodplain certificate for units 2 and 6. patios on 1, 4, and 5 to be removed. And then number 8, patio to obtain a permit.
It's not even, yeah.
And then impervious surface, which I tried to take some rough guesses at impervious surface off the GIS, and I think we're gonna be in the 22% range, but that's really rough.
Yeah, it's tough.
About
Yep.
driveways and
Mm-hmm. There's a basketball court out there and different
Oh.
things with that, so, yep.
that comes back to that whole condos thing about the other patios and the
Mhm.
other stuff. It's
Now,
pretty involved.
would if the patios on units 1, 4, and 5, they could apply for
Yeah, so I mean,
either they.
I have removed by 6/1/26, but if they want to apply for a variance by that date, then, we wouldn't say they gotta go. We would say, okay, they're applying, cause you can ask for a variance for anything. You can ask for a variance and then it would come back to this board and maybe you grant those, and then they wouldn't have to be removed. But if nothing is done, then they have to be removed.
Right.
Cause they can't be permitted.
Correct.
Why the floodplain certificate for 2 and 6?
Because when those cabins were rebuilt, that was part of the requirement that they were supposed to do a floodplain certificate and that never got done.
Because it's all one ownership, it's all
Yep.
big happy family.
So I look at I pulled every permit for everything that was done in there and go through it with a fine tooth comb and then you get a whole list of.
Gotcha. Okay. But we don't need to worry about floodplain for this unit.
Well, no, cause he will have to sign an agreement that says he's gonna build it to the right floodplain requirements and then. After how it's supposed to work, then after the project's done, you're supposed to submit a floodplain certificate to us showing it was built properly.
Okay.
That's what was never done on 2 and 6.
Okay.
They signed the agreement saying we agree to build it properly. That agreement says when the project's done, then your surveyor will submit a compliance form. We never got
The surveyor
compliance.
does that.
Yep.
Okay.
How would we do contingencies on, when you look at staff comments, items 4 and 5 are technically, he's part of the condo association, so is he
Well, it's treated all as one parcel.
correct?
Yes.
So if we just put that contingent on the approval of the addition, and it can't be done until those requirements are.
Well, we would issue, like, if he comes in and goes, hey, I wanna pull a permit for my addition in 2 months from now, we would issue the permit, but we would say, you have to follow all the conditions of variance 25 or whatever it is. And then, so that would be on there. Obviously, then we would send letters to the unit owners specifically if they don't meet that time frame and say, hey, units 4,
Yeah, 'cause
5, and 8, 1, 4, and 5, hey, you've got things out here that are not allowed.
My train of thought is the same thing that we've kind of run into these dynamics is.
Yep.
We put contingents that, okay, whatever the floodplain or whatever the restrictions might be, you build the structure. Then they never, just as we did on units 1 and 4, they never follow through on the contingency. Now it's like, well, you don't want to go back and tear the stuff down, but they're not being compliant. On the stuff, so it's like, do you word it the other way then? It's like, none of the. Permit is done until
We're
items.
not
4
gonna issue the permit until those issues are resolved. Yeah, you could word it that way.
Because it's like, we're always retroactive and it's like,
Mhm.
now the enforcement's always the hard part of this
Mhm.
challenge. That we understand the intent and it makes sense, we're following what we can. The follow through is, as an example, the driveway ordinance. We pull a 30-foot wide driveway when you build the house and 40 years later, it's a rustic road and you can't drive a minivan down it because it's emergency service stuff. It's kind of that same thing, and we have a non-compliant condo association. There's literally basically unpermitted actions that they agreed to, they didn't follow through on. And so we're gonna issue another permit in that dynamic, knowing that they haven't followed through on the last conditions we gave them. Is that fair statement to say.
Mhm.
Yellow Lake, we asked that woman to go talk to her neighbors and.
The most unpopular guy there,
Yeah, really.
but that's.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. We're
Okay, those two ones that weren't done, that they don't know that it's not done. They honest to God don't. They were told to build it here, they built it there. Now, maybe they should know that it wasn't turned in, but they don't know they're in violation. I can tell you that they don't.
Yeah, most people don't. I mean, it's kind of sad. Cause they sign a form that says right on there that when the project's done, we will hire a surveyor and submit this form. So they sign that to get their permit. Cause they'll sign anything to get their permit, but then afterwards, oh, we forgot.
And they probably did forget, but that doesn't mean it's right.
Mhm.
I'm just saying as a, you know, I've been on here maybe 3 years now or whatever, and you see it's the enforcement afterwards. Cause it's like,
Otherwise you wait till some unit number 9 comes in full of permit and say, hey, well, now, in order to do that, you gotta do this, and then it just keeps.
yeah, it snowballs and when it comes down to the facts, they're not compliant as to the agreement they already made with it, even though it's not him. But as a owner of as a shareholder of that property, basically, because it is one parcel, they need to work together to make sure that they're being compliant.
So if you were a betting man, Jason, and we approved this, that he could pull the permit based on these guys getting their stuff done by whenever, looks like June. How much of that'll get done?
Oh, that puts me in, that's an unfair question. You asked me.
What have you seen in the past? I mean, does it get done half the time or?
Depends on the, like I said, if you're fighting for shoreland or, you know, trying to get a compromise.
A board of directors for the association then?
Pardon me?
Is there a board that oversees your property there?
Well, it is, we're 8 brothers and sisters, and my sister Kathy, I think, was the secretary. We're supposed to have annual meeting, and we do decide who puts up the picnic tables for the family reunion. I don't believe there is a president, but my sister Kathy is the.
You talk to the relatives?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, all the time. My brother Jim and my sister Kathy were the ones that started the condo association. And, it was Jim and Kathy that got the whole thing first started legally to be a condo association.
So back to your question, I guess I'm not gonna answer that.
Fair enough.
Smart choice.
Okay, so the way it looks to me, this is a complete rebuild, tear down rebuild by the plans I'm looking at.
But I think he said though he's gonna keep the foundation, is what he said.
Okay.
It was,
Okay.
yeah. Either way though, it's still, it
Right.
needs variance, cause it's more than.
Yes, no, yeah.
25%.
More than 50% of structural components.
So unlike the previous one, it'd be
Yep.
ahead of time.
Yeah, it'd be a variance.
Knowing that we're
Yeah.
gonna pretty much do the same imprint.
We're on discussion amongst ourselves,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
You know, we do a lot of the condo stuff. And it seems like we run into the same trouble all the time. But I don't think we can not do what the staff comments call for and just let them pour slabs or not turn in things they've signed to do and then apply for a variant and without doing that stuff. I mean, I just don't think we can. I can't. I don't think I can.
Are you pushing, like Jeremy said, to have this stuff taken care of before it permits?
I don't know, Jeremy didn't sell that very good to me. But no, I think he's got a very valid point, and we talk about this every month, Jeremy and I, that, you know, our job is to do what we're doing right here. Our job is not the enforcement, but maybe he's trying to be proactive and get this in, you know, at least the floodplain issues in before, you know.
Which is
right, because that's the main one you were talking about, the floodplain, or were you talking about the patios too?
Well, any of the restrictions, that, like I said, it's a previous, because it's a condo association, it's treated as one parcel. And the parcel has violations right now, in a sense. It's non-compliant for permits that already previously be issued for this parcel. So if we remove the ownership of it, the parcel that's asking for another variance is non-compliant in the previous variance. That's what it breaks down to me, because
You're absolutely right.
So this might be the perfect time to impose some bigger restrictions on this because it is a family and they're agreeable, and I don't think they'd want to deny him his right to have his place fixed. And maybe that would help them say, yes, let's kind of, well, then let's put it in there and make it good. There's. Okay, so do we just go with the,
Does all that stuff get done before then? There's some septic stuff.
Well, we could go, sanitary systems that are servicing wouldn't be a problem. The floodplain, permits for the 2 and 6 that never got done. And to deal with the patios, number 4 and 5.
1 4? 1 no.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I meant
But
number
item-
4 and 5.
Yeah,
Item
4 and
number 4 and
5.
5. Thank you, Dana. Okay, I think I think we're pretty much in agreement, but we just gotta change the wording a little bit, correct? Yeah, you're good at wording.
It's supposed to be. Okay, so we want to do number 1 here.
Did we make a motion yet?
no, we haven't yet,
But I can
we're
just-
in
we're still
discussion,
discussing.
yep, correct.
We're gonna add the,
So would
restoration.
you say, you would say that with conditions 1 through 9, however, you would modify conditions 3, 4, and 5, that those items have to be completed prior to a land use permit being issued?
Yeah,
Sounds really perfect.
yeah, perfect.
What he said is my motion. No.
But could that allow the porch tree that have the porch, they could apply for a permit?
Well, they could apply, well,
For a
1,
variance.
1, 4, and 5 would need to have a variance.
They could apply for that, and then by virtue of that, would he be able to
Yeah, I
apply for a
wouldn't,
permit then?
if they applied for a variance, I would not hold up his permit, cause at least then they're in the process of trying to get it fixed.
And they're aware that it's
Yes,
And it
going to be
shows their
required.
intent that they're going to-
yes. Yeah, I wouldn't say, well, now that his project's on hold until this variance board, here's the patio issue, cause I don't think that would be.
No, that's not fair to hear.
But the ownership committee has to address the non-compliance of previous
With the floodplain and the.
Yes.
issues. And that's, yeah.
So I think 3 and 5 are relatively easy to do.
Yeah,
Unit 8 must be away from the water.
Yeah, it's the back, way in the back.
Okay.
Yep. So it's really just number 4 that is kind of the
Which one is
tricky
one?
one.
Must
One
be-
is the furthest north.
Okay, right, along the water.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep. North to south along the water.
Okay.
So 4 and 5 is the duplex unit that was just to the south of this.
Those must be newer patios.
yeah, they look fairly relatively on unit number. Here. The one south of them,
4 and 5,
4 and 5.
yeah.
And those are actually behind the 75, but.
No, within 75.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've seen the dotted line.
That's why they can't permit them. That's why it's either remove or
We wouldn't
variance.
be worrying about it.
Okay, where are we at?
Well, do we still have to do the shoreline restoration if that was signed off on?
Well, I guess my personal opinion would be it was done a long time ago. It'd be nice to leave it in there just for Emily to check. see.
I
think needs to
I think
be-
that's important because that's
I think
one of
that's
the biggest
important.
aspects that we
That's one of
focus
our,
on.
that's one of our biggest focus.
And I think Emily will work with you on different species just to make sure that it's compliant. And I know I apologize for previous frustrations, but that's government. We can only deal with what we control and stuff, so.
Well, I'll try to make a motion, jump in anytime to correct anything I'm saying. All right, so I am making a motion to approve variance 2526 with the following stipulations or conditions. Number one, shoreline restoration should be made a part of the approval since some of the proposed expansion is within the lake setback. The current standard for items under the 59,692 1B provision allows a viewing access corridor of 30 feet per 100 feet of shoreline up to a maximum of 200 feet of viewing access corridor. They have approximately 290 feet of shoreline, so they would be allowed 87 feet of viewing access corridor. The buffer depth should be at least 37.5 feet from the ordinary high water mark. Number two, sanitary systems that are past due for servicing are to be serviced and reported to the county by June 1st of 2026. Number three, a Wisconsin licensed surveyor is to submit a floodplain certificate for units 2 and 6 by June 1st, 2026. Number four.
No, hold it.
Oops.
Oh,
Oh, is that the one that you wanna say
before the permit is
or
pulled.
before a permit for this
Okay,
project will be issued?
Number 3, yeah.
Yep.
okay. So. Should
So
I
you would
read-
keep that same wording, but then just say by 6/21/26 or before a permit
Prior to.
can be issued for this unit, for this project.
Okay, so do I have to repeat that or is it okay? that You
No.
just said it.
I probably could that I said it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so then where does that take me to number four?
4.
Okay, new patios on units 1, 4, and 5 are to be removed by 6/1/26. And new patio or apply for
Or
a variance.
applied for prior to a permit being issued for this project.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and then number 5, a new patio at unit 8 to obtain a land use permit by 6/1/26
Or
or,
before a permit will be issued for this project.
okay. Impervious area of the entire condominium to be calculated by a Wisconsin licensed surveyor before any permits can be issued. Is that gonna stay? Okay. Number 7, land use permit to be obtained for the unit 3 prior to construction. Number 8, condominium plat to be revised by 12/1/26 and follow all local, county, state and federal requirements for this activity.
And then one more thing, it should be that the plans that we have, it should be built to the plans that we have shown
Okay, all
up here.
right. So the new construction or the new repair,
New building to match plans that were submitted as part of the variance application.
all right, so number 10, the new building is to be built to the plans that were submitted with this application.
Good job, Kathy.
Thank you, guys. Big teamwork.
Juan's got it. Exactly. Yeah. I have a motion by Schmidt,
I'll second it.
seconded by Daniels. Any other discussion on 25/26 Stein? Is it Stein or Steen? I'm sorry.
Stein.
Stein, okay, good. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries to approve 25/26 with condition as stipulated.
Good,
You didn't even know it wasn't done. It's done.
that's good.
Thank you.
Here, thank you.
So I added something onto the agenda here for Jeremy, because I thought you guys always like staying late, especially it's the last one for 3 months. You gotta
Yeah.
get as much. in here as you can.
No, that's good. Because-
Are you gonna break out the eggnog then?
No.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
So Emily is here, she's our county conservationist, so she did a report here on the variances for the last 5 years, so she just wanted to kind of
Hi, Emily.
go over that. She's the one that was.
Every month.
Yeah. And,
Hi, Emily.
she's here. He put together this report with a bunch of statistics basically on variances for the last 5 years.
And she's saving paper. We're going on both
I'll
sides.
just
Yeah, both sides.
let her take it away.
So obviously, this is just for variances that have shoreline conditions on there. Those are the ones that I deal with. So I guess the first page is just talking about my protocol that I set for myself for variances. Obviously, I have read the comments, the guys. I watch the meetings and reach out to applicants when they get approved mitigation agreements. Sometimes they reach out to me right away, which is great, but most of the time they don't. I usually schedule a site visit with them. Just so, because I know mitigation is kind of over people's heads and they don't understand it, so I meet with them one-on-one and go and talk to them on their property. With the conditions that you guys put, so when you're more specific, that makes my job a little bit easier. When you say this shoreline has to be this, this, and this, or a rain garden condition, those are really easy are just straightforward for the landowners. If they need anything done, then I do write a plan with the specs, rain garden size, how many plants, how much impervious surface is going into it. It's a shoreline restoration. I map out where their zones are and give it to them. They have to approve it. And then once that is approved, then Jason can move in with the land use permit. They do have a timeline. I give them about a year to finish it. I have a spreadsheet with everybody that I talk to, have a deadline. If I don't hear from them, I contact them and ask them, hey, where you at? Most of the time they respond. Sometimes construction is delayed, so then they obviously get an extension. If they don't communicate with me, then that's when I, reach out to them several times. And if I don't hear from them, I'll talk to Jason about what our next steps are. But that's usually low numbers, and I have that in the few pages at the end here. So I started in 2021, but I wasn't here in 2020, so I did go back and do the 2020 variances, so I'm still working on some of the prior ones, past or previous of 2020. But basically, page 2 is just a couple bullet points for each year on how many variances were approved in total and how many were approved with within the lake setback, and then which ones had mitigation. So obviously, as you move through the years, there's more conditions or more variances being approved with shoreline conditions. So like 2020, there were 6 variances, 5 were approved with the lake setback, but only 2 had mitigation conditions. But when you jump down to 2023, 23 variances were approved, 17 within the lake setback, and 13, or all of those had mitigation conditions. And then I just kind of put in there where we're at. So there's some years where they're not all completed, but that between 2020 and 2023 mainly are from financial constraints. They decided that they couldn't afford the project or they withdrew.
That's the entire project, not the mitigation.
Correct, yep. So if they wanted to get a garage within the setback or whatever, they couldn't afford it, they haven't done it.
Yeah, that's not to mean the mitigation was so expensive, it killed their whole project. Yeah, it was,
It's the project.
yes,
that they
project,
have for
the
variance.
garage, maybe they thought it was a $40,000, maybe it's a $80,000, and they're like, yeah, we're not gonna do this. Much money.
Let's not be beating on doubles.
So I won't go through everything, every single year, but in general, between 2020 and 2023, 28 of the 37 that had a lake or a mitigation agreement are done. 4 have not responded, 2 have withdrawn, and 3 have not started, but they do have a mitigation plan in hand. So that's kind of the statistics between those years. I separated 2024 and 2025 out because obviously we're within that year time frame of 2024 variances being approved, or construction still going on. So it's a little bit different, still going back and checking those 2024 variances. But in total, 33 were approved or went through a public hearing, and 24 of those were approved with a mitigation condition, and one of those variances were denied for a mitigation condition or just in general. So for that year, 2024, the type of conditions that you guys put on there, 13 were both shoreline restoration and rain gardens. 3 only included rain gardens, 6 included shoreline restoration only, and then there was 2 that had to plant shrubbery and trees. I think those were the retaining wall ones, if I remember correctly. So right now, 15 of the 24 variances are done. 4 have to be rechecked. 1 withdrew. 1 has no movement because of affordability issues, and 3, no responses. 2 of those are after the fact requests, so I reached out to those individuals and haven't heard it from them. And then 1 is a construction, new dwelling at a reduced setback, within a 35-foot setback. So those, obviously, 2 of those, they're already done. So we know that, you know, they're after the fact ones, so it's where Jason and I are kind of working on how to do that. 2025, so this is as of October, so I don't have anything for November of this month. But right now there's 20, yeah, go ahead.
Time out, back on the 24th. So when you're talking about the status of the 24, the 2 after the fact variances is the structures are up
Right,
and they
yeah,
didn't do the mitigation.
right, so they, you know, had a patio that they already.
I just wanted to clarify, that's what I was interpreting, but it's like.
Yeah, so, yeah, they have a patio that
Yep.
they constructed without a permit. It's there, but they needed a variance, so we can't permit those. Same thing. Back to 2025. So out of the 23 for a public hearing, only, or 10 of those were approved of mitigation condition and 2 variances were denied. So like I said, that only includes up to October, not November or December. And those are the type of conditions that you guys put on there on the bottom of page 3. So right now, obviously, we're in 2025, so not a whole lot of them are done yet, but at this time, there's 3 that are done. 3 plans were submitted. 1's gonna be worked on in the spring, so I haven't met with that person. They don't live here full time. So usually that is common when we get closer to the winter months, is maybe in the spring. 2 approvals still need to be contacted. So obviously they were approved, but I haven't reached out to them or they haven't got a hold of me. And then 1 may withdraw because of the shoreline restoration condition. They haven't confirmed it, but I know they weren't thrilled with it, so still working on that one. So in total, between 2020 and 2025, 130 variances are approved, 70 needing mitigation. So 7 of those have not responded and are assumed incomplete. So I have a table there that shows the 7 descriptions of the variances that have no responses. The majority of those are after the fact variances. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of the 7. So those are listed there on page 4. And then I created a table of everything that I just said on page 5. That's kind of summarizes everything in a bar graph. Maybe it's a little bit easier to see versus reading the narrative there. Page 6. So I separated the variances out in category. From Jason's description, I took the variances from 2020 to 2025 and put them in 3 separate categories. 1, because I was curious to see, well, where are we at with these, how many are approved versus for each category. So the categories are after the fact constructions of any type of structure that did not get a land use permit. 2 is construction of any structure within the lake setback. Or 3, exceeding the 200-foot lateral expansion within the 75-foot setback. So between those years, 32 variances were approved for after the fact variances, 30 for construction, and 14 for expansion. Obviously, as we go through the years, variances are more common. So obviously you're gonna have more of those when we get closer to today. And then I just have a figure that shows over time those figures. So after the fact is in blue, construction's in orange, and expansion's in green. And then the last couple pages are just before and after photos, just because it's kind of fun to see some of these projects being done. Obviously I have way more. So the first two set of photos is on the left side is before, and then on the right side is after. So obviously Sand Beach had to get restored. So there's the restoration of the trees and the ground cover and new plants. The second set of photos is a rain garden. They incorporated their landscape in there, which turned out nice. The last photo is a shoreline restoration.
Wow.
There.
Wow.
Just mind you though, there were different seasons. You know, one photo is in the fall, one photo is in the summer, so it does look a little striking, but you just gotta, the season can go with that one. This is the last page is one property. I thought it would be cool to show the erosion going on before the rain garden got put in. So the second photo, so the top right, you can see the gully going down between the two cabins there. So we specifically put the rain garden there to help with the erosion to the lake. And then you can see on the bottom right how that ground cover recovered over time. So like these are the conditions that you guys put on these variances, and these are the before and after photos of them actually working. So I figured that would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
It's very cool. Thank
that
you.
is kind of the key, because I know all the deer in the headlight look or whatever, and some of these landowners, myself included, when you say, what is my property gonna look like when I agree to this mitigation process? And I think this would be awesome if you could keep collecting some of the pictures, because when we are talking about mitigation, you can say, hey, here's a home that was Grand Cayman's before and they restored it and it still doesn't look too bad. You know, that was my thought but it's so foreign because mitigation even sounds bad. It's just, it's a bad term. It's beautification, whatever you want. No, that'd be awesome, because if we could use that and have that for applicants to say, I think it would be a lot easier for them to start that process, because I have a hunch, some of them are like, I don't know what I don't know. They think they're gonna plant 40-foot trees all the way up to their house and lose everything on the viewing corridor. And it's like now because we've just started this honestly in the last few years where it seems like it's more prevalent, but to see these actual live pictures is awesome. So thank you so much for that, because this is the stuff I think we need to start showing some of the applicants on before and after of some things, just say, this meets the requirement. It's not as bad as you think it will be, because I don't even know when we say it. It's like.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of wanted to come and tell you guys what's going on. Like,
Well,
you don't
it's nice
just
to
put
meet you,
conditions
too.
on there and it gets done. They're getting done. But before and after photos is part of the steps that I take, just because I think it's cool to look at. And then even with some of the landowners that don't want to do it at all, and then they end up doing it and they're like, I can't believe how this turned out. We're super pleased with it. And then they want to do more. So it's kind of a behavioral change as well.
Yeah, the tone comes across as a punishment. As a landowner.
But I think that.
And I can feel them fighting on that, so.
Yeah, but a lot of times we've said to people, well, Emily will work with you and we're here to help you. And, you know, I think that
Yep,
happens a
yep.
little bit in that.
Can I ask a question, Jill? I'd like to get a copy of that report. We're involved all the time trying to get people going.
Yeah.
I can tell you right up front, some of the ones that might not do it.
Yep.
And we're going to bat for people here, trying to help get their projects through, and we expect them to complete them.
Yep.
And we like to see the finished product too, and we're happy to, that's what we wanted. We want the same results you guys are coming up with, and so
Emily, nice job.
Yes.
we'd like to be able to.
I just
Yeah,
want
cheers.
to point out there though, you still gotta approve your variances within reason. You know?
We try.
And we know now there is an Emily, it's just not what Jason
That's what I
puts on
mean.
it.
Yeah.
This is my point.
No, the 50 docks and the boat lifts and everything else out there that makes it look horrible.
About.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't wanna keep you guys too late, so I just wanted to go through that really quickly. If you have any questions, just let me know. But just wanted to show you that there is good things going on out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Good job,
Face to the name finally after.
Yeah.
several years of mentioning
Yeah, really.
only this ghost that just shows up out somewhere. Let's see, these are last month's. So this first one here, this is Blueberry Hill. This is the deck where they had to modify it to be no more than 5 feet out. The building. This one here is the screen porch that was denied on Big Sand Lake.
Two last month, right?
Yep. And then, so you guys don't have another meeting again till April.
Yeah, it's up
So what I'll
tomorrow.
do is I'll put,
Next month.
I'll put the reports together, then I'll just email you guys to come in and
Pop
sign
them
them,
up.
pop them and sign them sometime, so. They don't
Hey.
have to sit. All the time.
We're on vacation.
So once they adjourn, I guess, then.
You want mileage, I bet.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second.
Motion by Schmidt, second by Peterson. All